Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. We got a top prospect on the way. We had some losers put together a big week, and now you got some losers talking baseball. Let's do it! Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Make sure you download the SeatGeek app. We're always presented by SeatGeek. Go watch a game, or you know what? Some people go to the games to check out the new sultry sideline reporter for your Minnesota Twins. Trevor Plouffe, a big week coming up. Go see him. Or go see anywhere where baseball's being played or any event. Trev, you'll like this because you know this is a side of me that the people don't fully know. I'm starting to get my concert season itch. I need a weird night. I need to let the weirds out. 70,000 events, SeatGeek, every day. Download the app, code TALKIN, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Link in the description. Trevor Goof, how are you, my good man? Under the comments of I tweeted out today. I was like, what do the people want to hear about? Because it's a funky episode. A lot of losing teams won this week. No crazy big topics, some goods. And you know what someone said? They said, just make sure you dance in the intro, because that's when they know. So, Trevor Danson Plouffe, how are you?
I feel like I always dance in the intro. And I take a few swings, and I end with a bunt because I believe the bunt is still an important part of baseball. Just ask the Royals.
Yes.
Walking off on a bunt. Gotta love that. Some people need to bunt in this game. Think you're going to hit your way out of a slump? No, you bunt your way out of a slump. I've always said that.
Yeah.
But you're right. And let me just be honest with the people.
Be honest. That's what
I think this is going to be an honest pod today. I'm feeling a certain way.
Yeah.
I came here. I told Jake, I told Beavers, your boy is stressed a little bit. Like some new things are happening for me. Yes, I will be in the dugout with a suit on, talking baseball. LA, Anaheim. I'm a little nervous about that, dude. I've never done it. I've been talking to these people, and I'm like, hey, can you give me some info? Because I'm flying blind here. I'm like, what are my responsibilities? I'm going to do great. I know that. I'm stressed, but I'm still confident. So if you're in LA or Anaheim and you come to the game, even if you're not a Twins fan, or especially if you're a Twins fan, come say hi. Like, make me feel better. Because I am a little nervous. And I don't get that way that often. So I think that's what's freaking me out a little bit, Jake. People
would have been shocked if we had the cameras rolling 10 minutes ago. You were kind of nervous. I had to be like serious, which are not our two lanes. You're High T Plouffe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jake the Goof Lelouch. And I think what we'll do is, Trev, like a lot of people do, especially the people that tune into this, they use baseball as their therapy. It's on every day throughout the summer. There's a couple off days. 7 p.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m. Man, your Twins, my Yanks in interesting spots. Eury Perez, I'm excited to watch that guy pitch. Absolute freak show. I also forgot, we had a couple guys hit some milestones. We love a good milestone in baseball. A big-time closer, if you know, you know. Someone also commented, they were like, Jake's speaking pattern is so weird how he goes quiet to soft. Like, there's not a rhythm or rhyme to it. I think some people in the profession have, like, a rhythm with that's supposed to be effective, and I just kind of guess along the way. So I don't know. I guess I'm just going to try to be loud so people can hear me.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I feel like you're always loud.
That's what I thought.
Like, I'm kind of a quiet speaker. I know that. It makes me upset sometimes because I'm like, project your voice, young man. And that's what goes on in my head. But for you, I feel like, you're pretty pro about it.
It's going to be a lot of honesty today. That's what it sounds like.
I think we just need to break it all down, man. You know what I mean?
Flows,
A sequence episode, if you will, about my feelings.
Wow. Julio Rodriguez and his feelings a little bit, Trev. Trev, it is a Friday up. That means we start with some National League Baseball. And that National League Baseball is brought to you by Topps Bowman. Trev, we got a video. Did it come out? I saw Matty Mass working on it the other day.
I think very soon, if it isn't already.
Very soon. Jerry Blevin's appearance in there.
Whoa.
Bowman Baseball. Topps. These are the guys. Since the end of World War II, they've been cranking out these cards. And man, top prospects, rookies, veterans. It's as fun and exciting as a hobby as you can get into. And each year there's a new class. Drew Jones. Did I see you pull that, Trev? Did I see Trevor?
I got
not
only a first Bowman, but a first Bowman Chrome.
Whoops.
That thing's in a hard case. Drew Jones, do your thing, playa.
I liked Drew Jones commented on the video. It was you and your youngins. And he was like, nice pack. Jacob Berry, Justin Crawford, Spencer Jones, all of the game's future stars. And with 2023 Bowman Baseball, they're available at hobby shops, retailers, and Topps.com. So go click the link. If you like baseball, there's a chance you like this. It's a fun hobby. Trev, you're kind of deep in that world.
Yes. I love opening packs with the kids. It's fun. It's like, for them, they like the excitement of what are we looking for? It's like a treasure hunt. And for me, it's cool. I remember opening cards and seeing like my first Bowman and, my rookie cards and stuff like that. It kind of is a little bit nostalgic for me at times.
Do you have like all your cards?
Like not like
right
in a set somewhere, but I'm sure I do. Like I have boxes of cards and, people always, when you sign for guys, the autograph hounds, because I'm going to call them hounds because that's what some of them are.
It's a lot.
I think some of them
a lot of times they're like, hey, I'll sign these two. Give me that one. And they didn't care. So I have most of them.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That sounded mean, but sometimes you got to be that way.
It's an honest
episode.
We're honest today.
Maybe we'll be honest about some teams because it's middle of May. I'll tell you what.
We've learned
my
stuff.
Yankees cannot hit. Let's do the National League.
Rick Bowers.
Trev, a team that can do a little bit of everything every year. Your Los Angeles Dodgers that you'll be covering in a couple days. They got off to a tough start. Some unearned runs for Tony G, and then a big Brew Crew inning as Joey shows his Wiemer. Willie Adames hits a 3-run yacker behind Freddie P. But after that, it's all Dodgers. They take 2 out of 3. Clayton Kershaw. Yep. Will Smith, Freddie Freeman. You can talk about them pretty much every episode, can't you? Man, how about that? Devin Williams has to pitch in a non-save. That was unique. Mookie Betts is the best ever, and he stayed in an Airbnb because he's scared of ghosts. We'll dive into that because that's a Trevor Plouffe topic. The Arizona Diamondbacks lose 2 out of 3 to the Marlins. C'est quoi? The famous Gallen, Jazz Chisholm trade. Gallen drops it on the table because that's all he knows as the Snakes win the first game, but the following 2 go to the Fishies, including Jazz Chisholm. 2 stolen base, gets on base 3 times in that middle game. Jesus Sanchez with a big game in the finale there. Jorge Soler, my goodness. Soler power. When he runs into one, it's a little different, ain't it? AJ Puck, Fish bullpen. Big game in that final one. Luis Arraez, by the way, hitting .420. My goodness. Eury Perez. Colorado Rockies are hot. 8-2 in their last 10. Kelsey's Wingert's Rocks are on a little bit of a heater, and they did it against the Pirates. And man, Mitch Keller, how about these nuts? Stopped their losing streak, but it was the only game. Complete game shut piece for him. Otherwise, Rodolfo Castro, I see in that first game. Charlie Blackmon still does it, Trev. How about that? And then some good pitching by Colorado on that last day. The boys are bopping. Brenton Doyle, the kid is doing stuff for them. Hey, good vibes for the Rocks. Interesting vibes in Chicago. The Cubs dropped 2-3 to the Cardinals. The Cardinals trying to dig out of their hole, and the Cubs kind of digging themselves a hole. They drop under 500. They salvaged that last game. Jack Flaherty bounce back start. 5 innings, 3 earned. Wilson Contreras, his return. We talked about this in the midweek a little bit. I don't know. 2 teams trying not to lose games instead of trying to win games. That's how that feels. And then the San Francisco Giants, Trev, they've been twirling the pill a little bit, but they lose 2 out of 3 to the Nats. Man, weird week in baseball. This Casey Schmidt kid for them, all he does is hit homers, I guess. But on the Nats, man, Lane Thomas with the big series. Joey Meneses, friend of the pod, Josiah Gray. He might be the real deal, man. Yeah, Giants are pitching, but they lose this. And then the Mets. We talked about them a lot in the midweek. They lose 2 out of 3 to the Cincinnati Reds. They fight in that first game. Can't get it done. There's Justin Verlander. Hello, old friend. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. But the Reds get it done, and Kevin Herget gets a 3-inning save in that last game. He's a baseball nerd. He used to work at SIS, Sports Info Solutions. That's where Trev got his defensive help. So we got a baseball nerd getting saves. The Reds win a series against the Mets, and that's what happened in a funky National League week. Trev, in that National League, the Atlanta Braves, you'll hear about them in the Interleague. 25-12, best record in the NL, second best record in baseball. Yep. Your second place Miami Marlins, Trevor Plouffe, 19-19. They'll take it. Phillies are 18-19. The New York Mets are 18-20. The Nats are 16-21. Hey, for some of the struggling teams around baseball, that's not bad, Nats. And they got some young guys. Alex Call. The Pirates remain on top of the Central, 21-17. Brewers are a half game back behind them. Both of them have been struggling, as have the Cubs at 18-19. Reds are 16-21. Cardinals 13-25. The Dodgers are 23-15. Snakes behind them, 2 games above 500. Padres are 500. Giants are 17-20, and the Rocks are 16-22. Trev, what topics in the National League are you jazzed up to talk about?
I do want to talk about the Marlins and kind of what they're doing. Now, sitting at 500 ball, we kind of know like what their team identity is. They got one guy that can hit it. And he's hitting
enough for 2 guys.
420 or is it 430? I mean, every time I look, it's somewhere around there. I think maybe one day, and it might not be today, but we need to start talking about Luis Arraez and like his quest for a 400 season. Like this shit's no joke, right? Like this is something that could actually happen. If you watch him hit, you understand like he has incredible bat to ball skills. And he ain't hitting the ball as hard as everybody in the building, but he can find holes with the best of them. And I think come July, I think we need to give him a few months because look, it's still pretty early.
Right.
But like come like end of June, let's just say end of June. If this guy's still anywhere close, I think it should be a very, very big deal in the baseball world because we haven't seen it. And I mean, how many years? Beebs, can you look that up?
Last time somebody hit 400 or chased it?
Yeah. Hit 400. It's got to be Ted Williams,
right?
and
yeah,
fucking
so
70 years ago. I don't know.
1941.
Like, think about that, dude.
It happened
before World War II. So yeah.
And Arraez just wrapped up I believe a 13-game hitting streak, and he's at 398 now. Like that's he got hits that many games in a row, and it's still dropped.
So
it's very hard.
He's at 398 right now.
Right now.
Okay. I love that for him. So their team identity is not offensive. They're not offensive. We understand that. In fact, I have the stats up right here. They're 29th in runs scored, 24th in homer, 26th in OPS, 14th in average, buoyed by Luis Arraez. But they can always pitch the ball, and it seems like, man, like, I know they traded for Arraez using some of that pitching depth. They sent Lopez over to the Twins, and they got one guy. I think they maybe should consider doing that again. But they said, no, Trev, you don't know what you're talking about. We're just going to keep adding pitchers. We're going to bring up our guy from Double-A, this guy Eury Perez. And if you haven't seen him, he's every hitter's nightmare. 6'8", throws 100. He has a filthy changeup to go along with a couple other breaking balls. And it seems like they're kind of leaning into this pitching and defense type stuff. At 19-19, are we considering them a playoff contender? The Fangraphs website does not. Only has them at a 23.9% to make the playoffs, but here they are, sitting in second place in the National League East. And I tell you this much, not many people would have guessed that at the beginning of this season, especially with the Mets and Phillies sitting right behind them.
It's exciting if you're a Fish fan, which I know, people are probably giggling at that a little bit.
Why? There's Fish fan out there.
There's a ton of Fish fans, and you've heard me go on my rant. How they don't lean into their Latin community in Miami more, I don't get it, because Miami's a wild place. Like, it's split. Like, if you didn't know, you could think you're in like a different country, and it's beautiful. And by the way, the people in Miami, speaking of beautiful people, my goodness. Whoa, horny Jake. Stay in the fight. Like, I know that sounds a little like riding a Peloton, but seriously, man, like, if you've got Arraez, who PBD pointed out, he was hitting 420. Nice. 4 games ago. He has 4 one-hit games and then a no-hit game, and now he's under 400. So to hit 400, it's absolute insanity.
It's insane, dude.
Jorge Soler, I mean, it gets boosted by a 2-homer day, but he's got an OPS in the 8s, which, he's had some seasons where he's kind of a coin flip, right? So let's say you get a good coin flip from Soler this year. All right, Jazz Chisholm, let's go, dude.
Yeah.
MLB The Show cover, like, you're that guy, be that guy. And the longer you stay in the fight, and Yuli Gurriel, what can he give you a hot month? Jesus Sanchez, De La Cruz, like Gene Segura, Joey Wendell. I don't know.
Don't say his name like that.
I don't know.
Joey Wendell would strangle you with his bare hands.
That's
his
the goal.
Fucking bare hands.
That's the dream. You've got the young pitching. Sandy, Luzardo, Cabrera is having a nice year. Braxton Garrett has given them some starts. Eury Perez now joining the party. That they've had guys in their bullpen be good. I feel like we haven't always said that about some of the Miami teams. Their numbers as a team aren't great, but Puck has been good. Floro, Scott, Brazoban, your guy.
Is it enough for us to be like, hey, just step it up, guys? Because the starting pitching hasn't been what we're accustomed to, and there's a couple guys on the shelf there. They got rid of Lopez. Sandy hasn't been his typical dominant self. Luzardo's been good for them. Sandy will be fine. I hope he hasn't, overtaxed his arm, because obviously we know he likes to throw a lot of innings. He still looks really good. The results just haven't been there. I fully believe in this guy, obviously. He's a Cy Young winner. Okay. Edward Cabrera, got to get it going. Now we bring in Eury Perez. Now, if you can go Luzardo, Sandy, Perez, 1, 2, 3, that's the makings of a very, very good rotation, depending on how Perez does. But I'm assuming he's going to be all right. His arsenal is just really good. And he has really good control of his body for as big as he is, as tall as he is. Why'd you do that? Don't.
He's huge. He's 6'8".
Do you think he's proportional?
He's a big boy. And Trev,
Okay.
I was going to tee you up for this before because you have said it before, but like, I'll let you phrase it how you want, but guys like that, it like changed your mindset as a young baseball player that like maybe I won't be a Hall of Famer because this dude's a 6'8" freak show, and I don't know if I can hit him.
It's exactly like that. When you get into pro ball, there are some guys who, some guys have all the tools and you're just wowed by them. But then every once in a while you'll get a guy, and I'm not talking just specifically about Perez here. I'm just saying that you get into professional baseball, a lot of good players there. Some guys, like if their one tool is power, well, it's crazy to watch them hit. I remember watching Wilson Ramos hit BP, and I'd never seen anyone hit the ball like that before. And like he could do some other things, but like mainly this dude was there to mash baseballs. And you just don't typically, you're playing high school ball or college ball. You just don't see players like that. Then all of a sudden it happens. You just don't see 6'8" dudes throwing freaking pills up there too often. So when you do, it is a little eye opening, and you do say, "Oh shit, like, what do I have to offer?" I would always think that, like, what the fuck do I'm a well-rounded baseball player. All right. Like I had nothing special, but you have to figure things out. And, but yeah, that guy, I've talked about this many times in the show, a pitcher like looking like him, that was my nightmare. I never wanted an off day. If I saw him on the mound, I might be like, "Hey, Skip, like, you got one for me today? Like, can I just kind of kick it? Maybe pinch hit later."
Right.
When he's out of the game.
They bring in that lefty reliever.
But I hope this, look, man, you bring up a guy from Double-A. That's something that I applaud the Marlins for. Like, are we going to do something here? We've talked about this team for the last 3 years. Not many teams have this type of pitching. And I know it hasn't been great this year, but we've seen flashes. Like, are they going to pull the trigger on another trade? Do they have somebody else they can call up to provide a spark for that offense? Or is Soler, can he do it and start to go off and be the power force? And Chisholm comes and all of a sudden, we're looking at a team here sitting in second place, and we're talking about wild card dreams and get them into a series with those pitchers, and you never know what happens. Is that what we're talking about in Miami, or is this going to be another one of those seasons where like, dang, like, seems like they're just kind of wasting away down there?
Yeah, I guess I believe in baseball magic. So like if Eury Perez comes up and he provides a spark and he's giving you a good start every fifth day, if Arraez is chasing 400, like people might think I'm goofing or gaffing about it, but that can bring energy to the ballpark every night. Like someone being that special, and that's where I end up circling Jazz Chisholm, because I'm like, be a part of that. Be the all-star, like enter the MVP race, kid, like be special. And that's a tough ask. That's a massive ask. And I guess that's where at the end of the day, the Mets have been in a funk. The Phillies take the regular season half seriously, that when I put all of it in the bucket, I stay in the fight, Marlins, and give yourself a chance, but I'm not going to start drinking Marlins Kool-Aid.
I think once you see Eury Perez start, you're like, "Oh, there's that Kool-Aid."
I love me
it's a good flavor.
I love me a freak.
You do.
All right, Trev, I mentioned it was kind of a funky National League week. That's great. A little speech and petty coming out. Nats took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. The Reds, they beat the Mets. We just kind of talked about the Fish a little bit. I guess of these some of the lesser National League teams up into this point, I think that's a fair way to put it. And I even think one of the teams that got beat, the Nats took down the Giants. I don't know. We always have a soft spot for the Giants, and they've been pitching and, going back to our favorite coaching staff, Rockies are being special. Are you drinking a little Giants Kool-Aid? Is it happening?
This is what I'll say about the Giants. When did they win 107 games? Is that 2021?
21, yes.
Yeah.
2021. Definitely wasn't in 2020. If you remember what happened in 2020.
Yes.
What the heck were we doing in
I'm
2020?
stuck.
Didn't play 100 games to win.
Oh my God. Talk about nightmares. Eury Perez on the mound and
2020.
reliving 2020. Okay. The Giants, man. And I'm happy for those other teams that are playing good ball. The Reds are kind of smashing the ball a little bit. Some of the starters have been okay. Like I'm still kind of waiting on, Hunter Green's actually been all right. He's got the stuff to do it. Your Rocks also smashing the ball around. They're kind of, they took it to the Pirates a little bit. The Giants for me are a team that are just 2 years removed from 107 wins. Last year didn't go their way. What did they end up right on 500, I think, last year?
Yep.
They've got some guys twirling it for them that makes me kind of believe in them. And right now the record isn't great. They're 17-20. They're fighting an uphill battle against the Padres, who have been sputtering, but still have a better record than them. The upstart Diamondbacks, if you will, that are really fun to watch. They do have they kind of play all around baseball. You could talk me into a Diamondbacks playoff team. You really could. Jake Snakes, T. Plouffe Snakes. I could see it happening. But the Giants, for me, are a team that remain sort of an enigma because you got these like trio of starting pitchers that have been really good for them. Logan Webb, who just signed the contract extension, has been doing it for a couple of years now. He's kind of like, if you talk about him, DeScalfani and Alex Cobb, he has the third worst numbers out of them, but you expect him to, continue to do what he's good. His numbers are still good. But Cobb and DeScalfani have just been really, really good. And I just talked about it with the Marlins. When you have those top three guys going for you, every series, one of those guys is going to pitch, essentially. It just gives you a chance to stay in ball games. The bullpen hasn't been great for them. I think offensively they can get the job done through a couple of different ways. I'm buying it a little bit. I think of those teams you mentioned, I could see the Giants kind of just hanging in there, and making a move. We know who they were in on in the offseason. They want to make moves. Like this franchise is a franchise that's proud and that wants to, be, what they have been in the NL West for a long time. They don't want it to be Padres, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Like they think that they should be at the top of them and the Dodgers. That's the rivalry. That's what they think it should be. And, 2021 it happened. Last year it didn't. I could buy into the Giants.
Trev, we're looking for substance this time of year because, we're like 40 games in, not even for these teams, which again, in baseball, you could have a 540 games and it doesn't affect anything. Like the Dodgers will play 40 games of 500 ball this year. Probably worse. Like every team in baseball will have stretches like that because it's a brutal sport. That I'm laughing at our Marlins talk a little bit because, if the Phillies go out and sweep them, like they're not playing, but the Phillies would jump up to second and the Marlins would go to fourth. So it's like we're still in that early part of the season for what matters. And those three starting pitchers that are shoving for San Francisco, that can matter because their bullpen hasn't been great. And that 21 Giants team that was really good, I think they had the number one bullpen here. So if they can sure up some things.
And there's guys back there that can get the job done, obviously.
There's dudes that, them being 28th in ERA and WHIP, like you need to change that because that's not good, but that also can change with the guys that they have. That the Giants are fourth in home runs.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you that question.
You like that?
You're already on it though, and some of the guys doing it. We talk about this all the time on this show. You need to have a lineup with some depth. That's Jakey analytics right there. The more good hitters you have in your lineup, the better.
Yes.
7 dudes right now with an OPS plus over 100, including Cabo Blake, my guy.
Cabo Blake, huh?
Late Night Lamont is absolutely crushing the ball. 951 OPS, good for a 161 OPS plus. He has 7 homers on the year. Your young Prince, Tyro.
Yeah, man.
6 homers on the year, 889 OPS. JD Davis is doing it. Yaz is on the IL, but he was going off. Jock Peterson, your favorite hitter in all of baseball. 111 OPS plus, Wiemer, Flores, and Blake. These dudes are getting it done. Conforto, who, they paid a lot of money to come play ball there, he's going to get it going too. He's got a track record. So, like, all of these things add up. And I'm just telling the people right now, I think we are telling the people right now, don't be surprised if the Giants go on a little run here. They got Alex Cobb throwing like 99 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's throwing like 91 mile per hour splitters. You're like,
what's going on here?
Cobb? Coaching.
I think we're just sending out a warning to baseball fans. Don't be surprised if the Giants go on a run and cause a little bit of havoc in the NL West, which we thought was going to be Dodgers-Padres. Dodgers have done their thing. Padres are floating around there. I fully expect them to go as well. But we talk about all these other divisions and how freaking good they are. AL East, oh my God. The NL West might end up being one of the better divisions in all of baseball. When you got Dodgers, Padres, Giants, Diamondbacks, Rocks are going now. But don't say we didn't warn you.
Mitch Haniger has only played 13 games with the Giants. He's back. That's a guy who's had a positive OPS plus since 2017. So I don't know, Trev. I guess you brought this up, and I wasn't super interested, but you have me intrigued. You have me leaning up in my chair a little bit. And we're obviously the hottest manager in the game, Gabe Kapler.
Kai Correa. Oh. You said manager.
Oh.
We love us a Kai Correa.
So, I don't know. You have me more interested than I think. But, Trev, think about some of the teams we've talked about. We're talking Giants. We're talking Marlins. Like, this is, Dodgers and Padres are still there. The Snakes have been 3 games better than the Giants. Like, there are 8 or 9 teams in each East and West division, AL and NL, that has, like, the hope. And I don't know. And all that being said, hey, shout out to my Nats fans. You guys wanted a little love because you just beat this team. And you have young guys doing it. So, like, this Nationals season has been more fun than I think their fans would have thought coming into the year. So I love that for them. I don't know. Any other topics you want to hit in the NL, Trev? Your Dodgers took care of business. The Brew Crew have been struggling. That's kind of all I've got.
I'm ready to move on. AL, baby.
Cubs, Cards. Trevor Plouffe in your American League. Let's hit him with the big one, baby. White Sox, Royals. Royals take 3 out of 4. We're winning series in Kansas City. The bunt, as Trevor mentioned, the bunt is back, baby. White Sox fans are digging into an even darker place. I saw some tweets that were like, "Whoa, like you are broken," and I get why. Royals ain't won a lot of series this year, but they put up 12 in the first game, 9 in the third, and like Trev said, that game-winning bunt. That's Royals baseball. Vinny Pasquantino, he's really good. So is Melendez, I think. And Brady Singer gets a nice start, which I was all in on him to start the season. He might be back. That game they won, Giolito, trade deadline. Watch out. Trev, you watched a lot of this series, and you said you kind of weren't sure why, but the Tigers take 2 out of 3 from the Guard Dogs, competing for second place in the AL Central. Tigers win the bread games. Erod. We talked about him last time. 7 innings shut. The game the Guardians win. Nice pitchers duel. Lorenzen and Bieber. Pitching except for Ahmed Rosario. He puts up a 4 for 4 in that game. Go Tigers, go. We get a Riley Green game. Javi Baez with the glove and the twig. Sure. Why not, Tigers? Why not us? It's our year. Hey, maybe the best baseball that got played this week happened in Camden Yards, and the Orioles take 2 out of 3 from the Rays. Tell me these games didn't matter to the Birds. And a little playoff baseball-y, Trev. 3-0, 4-2, 2-1. Two of the best offenses in baseball surrounded by pitching. Rays won that first game. McClanahan, Gibby, pump that into my veins. But Baltimore does enough in the final two. Rushman, Austin Hayes. I love it, man. Orioles have the third best record in baseball, second in the AL. I still don't think we're talking about them enough because of these damn Rays, but maybe that's right because the Rays are monsters. Anyways, that's just a Yankees fan in his feelings, but I wasn't in my feelings for 3 nights, Trev, because the Yankees got to play the Oakland Athletics, and my God, it's a different tier of baseball. Yankees put up double digits the last 2 games. They called up and sent down AAA pitchers to burn in this series. I mean, it's a different level of baseball than pretty much every team around the league. Volpe gets his first grand slam. They wonder if that's going to get him going. I mean, it felt like an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyways? The points didn't matter. Playing Oakland this year is bizarre. Houston, here's a team. Trev, they might be doing that climb I talked about. They take 2 out of 3 from the Halos after dropping the first. Framber alert. Framber and Ohtani, he outduels Showtime. And then Christian Javier with a really good game in the last one. Pena, Maldonado with a big homer. How about it? When he's helping, that's just bonus points for the Houston Astros. They're coming, people. You just know. A team that people are starting to, I don't want to say raise eyebrows, but the Seattle Mariners, they dropped 2 out of 3 to the Rangers. They win the bread games. John Gray and Logan Gilbert going toe-to-toe in that first game. Rangers get it done because they've sneaky got it done all year. Dane Dunning with a big start in the last one. He just got thrown into the rotation. Feels like that kind of year. George Kirby, your favorite player, Trev, he drops it in that second game to get them the win. Julio's been struggling. Seattle getting close to the panic button. They just want to hear you say those magic words, Trev. And that's what happened in the American League. He's not going to say them, people. He won't say them.
I might. I fucking might.
Rays are 30-9. Your last team without double digits in the loss column. The Tampa Bay Rays. Orioles are 24-13. Sox kid, 22-16. Jays are 21-16. Yanks, 21-18. 3 games above 500. That'll get you last place in the AL East. The Twinkies, 21-17. Tigers are in second place, baby. 17-19. They benched Baez, Trev. That was it. Guardians, what is we doing? 17-20. White Sox, no thanks. Royals, 1 game behind the White Sox. Rangers are 23-14. They've been great. Angels are 20-18. The Astros a game above 500 at 19-18. Mariners a game below. And Oakland, man, 8-31. Oh. I know you've been on some tough ones, Trev, but that's sheesh. What's the topic in the American League you want to talk about?
Was it that bad,
Trev? Yes, man.
Because you've been like this was just not baseball, not Major League Baseball. Really? Because I don't like when people say that. I'm like, if you're in the big leagues, you're a big league ball player. But you're saying this was just a different type.
There's a kid side of it that I don't. The pitching, how about that? Like Trev, they had, what was the stat, BBD? In the first or second game the Yankees won.
I think it was after game 2. They threw those 2 guys that I think maybe one pitch got to 93 miles an hour.
They had their fastest fastball was 92.8, I believe, and the Yankees team had 91 pitches faster than that in the game. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I love, obviously, what Rooker's done this season that shouldn't be put behind. I always love watching Laureano. Blade gave them a couple big games. I think in their lineup, I see young guys and a couple vets like mixing it up. the pitching really makes it tough for them to be competitive when
Yes.
like their starting pitchers were starting to get into some trouble and getting hit a little bit, and they can't go to the bullpen because they can't go to the bullpen every game.
Every game.
You know, like, so some of these young pitchers have to eat it for 5 or 6 innings.
Just wearing it. Then they get sent down to the minors because they need fresh arms.
And that's tough.
I've been there, man. That's not a fun way to show up to the park. And it makes what Brent Rooker's doing even more impressive because, dude, it's difficult to stay focused when you know you're about to get your you-know-what pushed in.
I think I know. Trev, I think the best baseball this week was played in Baltimore. Rays O's. These have been the two best teams in the American League. There's an argument they've been the best two teams in baseball, but Braves fans will get mad at you for that. I don't know. On Monday's episode, we talked about kind of little snaps for the Orioles because they played a good series against the Braves. Orioles fans sounded off in the comments. We thank you. Please always sound off in the comments. And they were like, no, we're past moral victories, dog. And I think I think this series at home meant a little more to them than the Rays? I do. I think so. Like I just do. And they go and
maybe
get
because
it.
the Rays just don't. The Rays don't care about other teams. That's how I feel.
Yes.
You know, with playing in the organization, watching these guys play, understanding how Kevin Cash, sets the vibe there. They don't care about other teams. They don't care who they're playing. They're all the Rays organization wants you to do as a player is be yourself and do what you do well. We've constructed a roster. This is what they'll tell you. We've constructed a roster that we think is really good, as long as everyone just does what they do well. That's it. Don't worry. If you're a power hitter, don't worry about getting on base. Go smack the thing around. We got other guys to get on base. If you're a guy that, plays defense, don't worry about your offense. We got it covered.
Yeah.
So I agree with you in that sense. Obviously, they understand what, the wins and loss column represents, and they have to win games, and they understand like series like this can be a little tougher than when they face those A's. But for the most part, they just stick to what they do well. But I'm happy for the Orioles because you're right. Austin Hayes, even after they won that Wednesday game to take the series, he talked about that. Like they want people to know this is for real. I think in one run games right now, they're 8-4. In this, I think they played who'd they play before this? They played the Braves?
I think it was Braves, yeah. So think about that. They had a Braves-Rays stretch, and they end up coming 500 out of that.
They're 3-3, and a lot of those games were close.
Yes.
But Hayes mentioned after that last game, like we're learning how to play in these tight games to minimize mistakes and just keep plugging, because that's how you do win those games. You just avoid when you get into trouble for pitchers or a defense. You get a bunch of runners on base. Like, hey, like, one run's okay to give up, but let's not give up that crooked number. And you start to play like that and start to minimize damage. It allows you to feel better offensively when you get up there, not having to chase big types of runs. But they've been impressive, man. Like, I felt coming into this season with the Orioles, it still was like a prove it type of year. It doesn't feel that way anymore. And the starting pitching that we still talk about, they're doing enough, man. Like Kremer, who was not great to start the year, in his last two series, he's won both games. He's brought his ERA down a bunch. He just had two good starts. Like, they're getting the job done enough. The bullpen's been great. Like, they're doing just enough on the starting pitching side to win games. Offensively, they're clicking. They got guys that can do a bunch of different things in that lineup. And I think this is sort of a statement series for them. The Rays, hottest team in baseball, best record in baseball, comes into your house. Win the first game, 3-0, 3-0. McClanahan shoves. To win the next two games, that's big.
And that first game was coming off of the extra innings Braves loss, which, that can't feel good. No, man, I'm all about the birds. And another part of it, we talk about those 2015 Royals that ruined some of your career stats. Cano and Bautista coming in for the final 9 outs. Like, that matters. To be able to shut down a team like the Rays, whose OPS is in the high 8s, and to end a game like that and not be scared at each pitch thrown. Like, no, if we do our thing, you're done. It matters. And I mean, some of the stats here, Baltimore's 24-13 short, 1 short of their best 37 game start. All of those teams went on to win 98 games. They're being overshadowed by the Rays a little bit. And yeah, like you said, the Rays kind of don't care. We're 30-9. We're going to go on. And by the way, the next night, that little SpongeBob moments later or whatever the hell it is, they wrecked the Yanks last night because that's what they do. And watching a Rosarena play and Franco, fucking Siri's got lollipops in his hair because he doesn't give a shit. Oh,
he looks like he's going to a rave every game. What's up with that?
You're the Yankees? You guys can't have beards? Siri's got lollipops in his hair and he's dancing on the sideline. Like,
he looks like he should be with you and Jess at a Rez concert. Bro.
I'm ready.
That sounds like a great time.
Siri seems like a good time. He's got, dude, Siri's
you give him those special lollipops.
I might do a Jake down on it because he's got double cat scratch in each eyebrows. He's got, I think, 8 necklaces, like the
chokers,
2 lollies in the hair. Like, they don't give a fuck.
And I don't think the Orioles do either, bro. They're spitting water on the field. They're celebrating everything. Kyle Gibson's in there being like, guys, we're all good, right? He's like, oh my gosh. Like, they have a vibe to them, a certain vibe the Birds do. And I want it to continue all year. I want to be in here in September being like, holy shit, the Orioles. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. For people on audio only, we're looking at a picture of Siri now. He's got the Barry Bonds earrings in.
Yep.
He's got the Jake Storiale choker necklace with the big gold chain. Also, I'm counting 4,
looks
I
like
believe.
At least 2 of them.
He's eating a lollipop while having 2 in his hair.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to the Birds in September. If we go back and we're like, dude, this team has won 95 games. Holy snikes. I think that means they probably picked a starting pitcher up. I know people, I just said they're doing enough. They got to make a move, right? They got to make a move. Whether it's bringing someone up from their organization or at the trade deadline, I think they're in a position now that's going to force the hand. And that's the best position that you can be in as a team. When you know going into the trade deadline, we're going to add. Because we're there. And they have to add. It's a good feeling to have.
Yeah, it'll just be, if you're a contending team, you add at the deadline, right? Whether that's one middle reliever, whether that's a starter, whether that's an impact bat. I think for them, it will be interesting to see what that is, because they're obviously not going to compromise their youth movement. It'll be interesting to see their team needs, because you'd assume a starting pitcher. And by the way, I think Buster, one of the baseball kings, just wrote about how valuable Erod could be at this deadline if he continues what he's doing. I don't know. If I'm Erod and I could pitch with that left field, I bet I'd figure some things out. But the other note is, if Erod keeps pitching like he's going to be wanted by a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's got 2 more years of control after this year. Erod's I don't know what they're going to do with him. The Tigers have
and hell,
they're in second place.
They might go win the goddamn Central, Trev.
They will not. There's one team that's going to win the Central. It's the St. Paul Saints. They're going to come up from AAA. They're going to relegate the A's and bring the Saints up.
St. Paul Saints.
Anyways, go Birds, man.
Trev, I think the other before we get to some IL, because I think we're going to talk about your Twinkies there a little bit. I think the AL West, just a quick zoom. We don't watch every game, people. It's literally impossible. You know your team better than us. Here's what I do know.
West Coast happens late.
It is late. I've been getting sleepy lately.
I'm there.
The Rangers have been one of the best teams in baseball up until this point. There's some numbers that show they've been unlucky. We believe in coaching. Every person they seem to throw out on the mound will give them efforts. They bang. Meanwhile, the Angels, we've given them credit for hanging around. They more or less survive an Astros series. The Astros are now above 500 with their injuries. Mariners are a game below. Julio's been really struggling. And I guess with all of that laid out, where does your brain jump to? And the other thing I wanted to ask you was, have you been around or I guess maybe played against like a true superstar? Like Julio is, a true superstar. The ball comes off his bat different. He's as athletic as it can be. Have you been around or seen a true superstar like really struggling? Because some of his numbers are tough.
So you hit me with a curveball. Really struggling. I never saw Joe Mauer struggle, and he was one of the guys I consider a true superstar.
Yeah,
he was just a better player than everybody else on the field. He could just do things, and they were so easy. He really just never struggled. We would joke about that all the time. It's like, this is funny. I talked about that big old Jumbotron in Milwaukee and how sometimes they'll just like put like a little stat that says like, 0 for his last 19, right, and they'll just butter knife it in a bad way, and it cut you deep with that butter knife. Someone sent me a picture of, I forget who it was, but they did it to him in Milwaukee. Just some random stat that he was 0 for, and I chuckled at that. But they would try to do that to Mauer, and they couldn't find any.
Yeah.
The guy was hitting 300 in every situation that you could think of. Doesn't matter. It was 300, 300, 300. We just like, Joe, how the fuck does it feel to just never struggle? So I guess, look, I've been around Byron Buxton a lot.
Yeah.
I played on a couple different teams. Superstars.
Well, hey,
I would say
Buxton's not the craziest comparison. Like, I think right now people might tilt their head because, Julio is next and all that, but Buxton was next. Buxton was a top, 5 prospect? Like,
you can get out of whack with your mechanics very quickly as a hitter. The guys that stick to their mechanics and are consistent with them, that's a rare breed, man. Just like go, if you have a favorite player, a favorite hitter that you like to watch, go to each year and just compare videos. Like, things are going to look different, dude. Certain guys like Joe Mauer never changed. Certain guys are just consistent with how they set up, and that's just what they do. But most guys make a lot of adjustments, and they have to, because that's just baseball, and pitchers, they make adjustments on you, and we know that whole song and dance. Byron, I saw him struggle many times, and a lot of it was he was in his own head about his mechanics. He was getting told too many things about what to do, hit the ball on the ground. I heard people say, Byron, we need you to put the ball on the ground more, use your speed. That's not exactly what you want to hear, because that is not going to produce much for you. Finally, he got to a point where they just said, we need you to get you into a consistent launch, like get you ready to launch. And that's what you see him do now. He's kind of like preset his back hip. He's got his hands where he needs to be. And for him now, it's only about pitch recognition and going. Julio, if we're talking about Julio and his struggles, he hasn't hit the fastball well this year, which I think will turn around. He's still hitting the ball hard, but he's chasing. And when he is getting those fastballs that he used to crush like early in the count last year, he just hasn't really been hitting them. So he's moved down in the lineup a little bit. And Cervus had some quotes about, it's sometimes for the young hitter, it's nice to have him settle into a game. Batting leadoff, bro. Let's go. You don't have time to see the pitcher, to calm down. The energy's there. Like, you still got all that adrenaline going. When you're hitting further down in the lineup, I think he was hitting 6 or something like that. It gives the ball game a chance to settle down a little bit. First inning comes up, you see guys, you see pitches, you just kind of get into the rhythm of the game instead of just being thrown out there right away. I don't think he's going to stay at that part of the lineup. He's too valuable. He will get going. I assume he'll be back at the top of the lineup, whether it's a month or whether it's 2 weeks or a week, it doesn't matter. I think it's a timing thing for him, which is when most hitters struggle, it's a timing thing.
Yeah, and I know he had a back injury. You always wonder how does that actually feel? Could be something, could be nothing. Yeah, man. I don't know. Mariners fans, the one game they win is behind your guy, George Kirby.
Best to ever do it.
Saw some of the Seattle George Kirby memes after that, and I did enjoy that a lot. So, good job, Seattle fans. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's an eerily similar AL to NL conversation. There's just a lot of good teams in the East and the West, man, that going back to that 40-game stretch speech I gave earlier, like every team in Major League Baseball will have a 500 or worse 40-game streak in a season. The Angels, Mariners, and Astros are all separated by a game and a half right now that they're just looking for it to go. And in that same, if you're going to lump all of them together, what the Rangers has done has been impressive because they technically, the luck rating on Baseball Reference, which is just how different your record is from Pythagorean theorem, which goes off of run differential purely, which again, a couple 10-0 blowouts, you can cook the books a little bit there. But they have the Rangers as the unluckiest team in baseball, and they're 23-14, man. Like, the Orioles have changed my scope on them as a team. Where the Rangers are at, they've affected the course of this season. Like, they're a problem.
The quickest snapshot I'll give teams, or like if you want to go and just a synopsis of how a team is doing, I like to look at like bullpen and starter whip. How many people are on base? Where do you rank in that category? Starting pitchers for them. And again, like DeGrom's pitched a little bit, but this has been mostly without Jacob DeGrom. 4th in whip. I questioned this rotation. I said it's got some guys, like, some veteran dudes. Like, it just kind of depends on how they're going to perform. They've done it, man. Nathan Eovaldi, who I think we should probably talk about a little bit right now. Extended that scoreless inning streak, 28 plus. Scoreless. He's a dog. Their relievers, 7th in whip. In all of baseball. Keep guys off the bases, and you're going to do well because that offense is doing enough. They're 2nd in runs scored, 5th in OPS, and this is without Corey Seager. So I thought this was like a Frankenstein-ish team, a bunch of guys just thrown together. Is it going to mix? Was Frankenstein a success? Dr. Frankenstein's monster.
Now we're talking.
Was he a success? People always forget that, and then idiots like me, who I think might even be a worse part of the equation, reminding people that it was Frankenstein's monster.
I'd say yes. I think Frankenstein was a success. Like, the monster came to life, right? Like, we didn't know what was going to happen after, but if we didn't grab that abnormal brain, I think.
What did happen after? What's the story of Dr. Frankenstein?
He did the mash. He did the monster mash.
Oh, man, we got to look that up. Well, the Rangers. This team that has been thrown together through free agency and trades and what have you, they look like the real deal in a very tough division. The Angels are playing well. They are. The Astros are about to go. Altuve's taking rehab at bats. I think he's going to be the spark that gets them going. I understand they've had some injuries to the pitching staff. Doesn't matter. They're going to be there. The Mariners are going to be just fine. I'm not going to say anything about you guys being bad. It ain't gonna happen. You guys are fine. Julio will be fine. You have George Kirby on your staff. You'll be fine. Rangers have been doing it. They look like the real deal. It looks sustainable, Poppy. Some of these teams that have got off the fast starts don't want to name names. Doesn't look sustainable. The Rangers, it does look sustainable. It really does.
Trev, there's a lot of season left, and there's going to be prospects that jump on the scene. There's going to be trades, guys that are hurting now that'll be back, like all slumps and hot. Just because you mentioned him the other day, and I saw it pop up on my feed, Jack Flaherty's last 2 AA starts have been clean. 6 innings with a 0, and then 5.
Who?
Jack Flaherty.
The last 2 double.
Or, excuse me, Jack Leiter.
Thank you.
Jack Leiter. Because, I remember you checked out the other day and the stats weren't good, but sometimes things click, and especially with minor leagues and special players. I don't know. I don't know. We don't have to do that dance now, but, man, Dane Dunning gives them a performance. Their lineup. Adolis is a star. So is Heim.
They're doing it. Hey, I think they're like 6th in average, 8th in homers. Like they are like it's all happening.
Yes.
Not a one-trick pony.
They're 2nd in runs. That's good. Analytics
I was off
behind
them. So like hand up. I didn't see it happen.
I still don't like the Orioles completely shook me. I'm all in. Like I think they may be the 2nd best team in the AL. Rangers, I still don't know because again, Houston's going to rejoin this party. Seattle took a little bit to click last year, if I remember correctly. Angels are always a wild card. Like I like what they're doing. They've changed the whole formula of the American League. I still don't know exactly what it means yet, but I'm not selling. I'm not selling. Trev, you want to do a little IL?
Let's do it, Poppy.
Like how much you're calling me Poppy today, if I'm being completely honest with
I need
you.
a daddy.
And Trev, your Twins faced off with my Padres, and they took 2 out of 3. I know you said they've been struggling with the Twigs, but they get enough done. Max Kepler, couple extra base hits, including a homer. Pablo Lopez, he's been good. Kirilloff, walk-off single. Joey Gallo with a good day at the ballpark. The game, San Diego won. Waka was good. Juan Soto 4-hit day. You might hear a little bit about that coming up. The Braves and the Red Sox, they split a 2-gamer, but had something kind of memorable happen. Kenley, 400 saves. We'll talk about that. We love a historic king. The Phillies bust out the broomsticks. 2 games against Toronto. And that last game did go to extra innings, 10th inning. So that's kind of that. Castellanos, Nola, and Bohm. Yep. Zach Wheeler and Harper in that second game. Edmundo Sosa, he scores. Bo Bichette's throwing error. Bo can't do that. And honestly, that's what happened in the IL. It was a lot of 2-gamers. Trev, your Twins, I'll let you run because you are a Twins beat reporter. What happened here?
People are mad that we just say we talk too much about the Twins. You know what? I don't care. It's my show,
Yes.
people. Are you kidding me?
King.
Yes, they have not been swinging the bat well all year long. They have not been hitting with runners in scoring position. They've made a few moves that, they're trying to spark the offense a little bit. They brought Kirilloff up, and if he is, well, he was coming off of an injury, but if he can be the guy who they think he can be a difference maker in that lineup. He has the game-winning hit, pulls the ball down the line in extras. They get the job done there. The other guy, Kyle Farmer, comes back off the IL as well. Remember he got hit in the face?
Yes.
He takes Jose Miranda's spot. And Miranda, I still believe, is a big part of the Twins' future there. But he hadn't been, performing as well as they thought, and they needed to make a move. He ends up going down to AAA, and Farmer comes up, hits a bomb. Up Darvish. Little instant offense right there. They're still waiting on Correa to get it going. He's been hitting the ball hard. He had a big hit yesterday. I think it was tied 3-3. He put him up 5-3 with a double. They look good, man. Like they pitch. They pitch. We all know that. Whether it's their starting pitching, which has been great, their bullpen has some guys that can really do it. Brock Stewart. Remember the name,
Yeah.
Jake. We're not going to mess that one up anymore. He put himself in a jam, got out of it. That's what he does, bro. He's like, who's the guy that would chain himself in a barrel and go over like the Niagara Falls?
Houdini? Yeah. Nice.
And I knew that one. That's what he does. Just gets out of weird situations all the time, dude. But they look good. Padres, Bob Melvin, not happy with his team. Says they need more tenacity. I had this exact same talk with my youth team after the game. I said, you guys really like to pay attention in like the 5th and 6th innings when, times are tough. Like, let's have that in the first 4 innings.
Right.
So, like, let's change that from the last few innings to the first few innings and see how the ball games change for us, right? Bob's not happy with the tenacity there, but Twins look good. Soto's getting it going a little bit for the Padres, but they're still kind of just are they pulling like a Phillies where they're just like we don't really care about the regular season? They better start caring.
Yeah, I've got a little Padres talk coming, and I mean Hader technically blew another save with the automatic runner in this game, and the Mookie Betts game from Sunday Night Baseball. So like, we could easily be talking about how hot the Padres are. Like, I think we're all in on Hader and Soto going. Again, you might hear more about that in a minute. Trev, again, this was one of our bigger notes as like topics this week. Kenley gets save number 400. I guess for me, it's it's a crazy number when you just see how few guys have that, and it's pretty unreal. Like, we all know this if you're a baseball fan, you know the story of Kenley. He was a catcher. He gets on the mound. He's just a big dude. He throws mostly one pitch. And I don't know, he had this reputation for years as like when people would shit talk the Dodgers, like he's part of the problem. Like, he's fucking disgusting. He gets his 400th save.
I've always hated that, how Dodgers fans treated him and Kershaw, to be honest with you. I talked about this a little bit on Baseball Today, but, like Kenley hasn't been great in World Series. Pretty much every other part of the season, he's been great. Excellent. Hall of Famer in my book. Same thing with Kershaw. He had a few postseason struggles, and everyone wants to write him off. This guy's like probably the best pitcher of our generation. Clayton Kershaw. Go look the numbers up, people. So I've always had a problem with how Dodgers fans talked about those two guys because they have been excellent. Kenley, to me, 400 saves is a big number. And I think that's what's most impressive is being able to be in that role for that long. We know the turnover in bullpens. Like, guys you're a closer for 3 years. And then, or maybe 3 years. Like, you're a high leverage guy for a few years, and then things happen. That's just how it goes. But some of these dudes have figured it out. Kenley, I mean, essentially, he's added a few pitches, but we know about the cutter. Throws a cutter a lot. For him to be able to sustain his level of play for that long, I think is the biggest thing, especially starting pitching that late, but just figuring it out, man. And like, he can be absolutely dominant at times. And you really don't think about him as like this big, bad closer with the crazy repertoire. Like, it's not what you think, but he can dominate just as well as anybody equipped with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. You think about like Emmanuel Clase and these guys that just have absolutely filthy stuff. Like Kenley, maybe it doesn't show up on the radar gun like that, but it's a very difficult at bat. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to use that cutter in a bunch of different ways. I think the longevity is the thing that really sticks out to me. And in that role that's so volatile, for him to be able to do it that long, it's awesome, dude.
Led the league in saves last year, 10 years after getting the closer job with the Dodgers. He's been great for the Sox. Trev, I will do 2 quick things with you. How much money has Kenley Jansen made playing baseball?
Sheesh.
Because we got a little insight into his basement, but I want to hear your guess first.
We did get a little insight into his basement. I think him, and Cole Tucker are probably going to start jamming. Okay, so he got a pretty big, I think it's like 120 million.
135.
Okay.
It's a It's a nice hunk of coin, and what we were alluding to.
I would like some of that.
The fellas got him a bass guitar with 400 engraved in it for the amount of saves. So, yeah, I bet Kenley's basement jam out with your clam out down there, Trev.
Was it fretless, though, bro? Are you just letting the vibes play, or do you have frets? I don't want to be constrained. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, you kind of lost me, to be honest.
Okay.
Trev.
Go Kenley, go.
Nowhere I didn't lose you. When you saw that I had the fastest swing in the office with blast motion. Are you ready to dominate at the plate this season? Blast Baseball is the #1 hitting improvement solution. Instant feedback. We're coming for you, pitchers. It's over. It's our time. They've got their 3D swing tracer. Get your swing speed. Get it up. Swing speed, exit velo, hits, power, money, basement, bass guitar. No matter the weather, location, season, or equipment, Blast Baseball can help you train all year. Shout out to my Northeast Kings. Go to blastmotion.com, BLAST motion.com. Enter code TALKIN at checkout. You'll save $10 on the Blast Baseball personal swing trainer and swing analyzer. There's a link in the description, and super easy to use. It just goes on the bottom of the bat there. Pretty cool tech, Trev.
When you sent that video, I do love the blast motion. Teddy uses it. We have it in our backyard here, and I think he swings harder than you. I'm pretty sure. I have to go check the metrics here. When you sent that over, Jake, were you serious, or was it like, this is funny, Jake?
I knew you'd be pretty disappointed by the numbers put up on the scoreboard. I was sad I won.
Okay.
I was sad I won.
I'm happy that you weren't serious about that. But I will. Listen, here's my thing. I love playing with the blast motion. It does give you instant feedback. I will put it on my bat today. Set my bat up, because you have to set your bat up, and it goes to your specific bat, which I think is really cool. Makes the readings that much more precise. I will do it and see what I get. And I won't funny business it.
Okay.
You might beat me. I'm in tennis shape right now, bro.
No.
I'm in tennis shape.
Trev, let's not start tasting ourselves a little over an hour in. Your bat speed is pretty cool. Like Zoe texted us late night last night in our Blitzball chat, because you had a Blitzball game last night. And Zoe sent a clip of you getting your hands through with the Blitzball bat, and it's pretty nice.
Go check that game out.
Yeah.
One of the bigger challenges I faced in the warehouse. That's on our JM Warehouse YouTube channel. And yeah, I got my hands through a little bit. My barrel was finding it.
Couple guys in standout performance got their hands through the ball, Trev. And it looks like you had a late audible, so I'll let you run.
I did, because I was going to go Mitch Keller. Friend of the show via Cole Tucker. So I keep my eye on him quite often. I think he's going to get my award today. Let's just get everything in the open. I was going to give the moms an award today, because I love moms. Hot moms are the best.
Okay.
Loving moms. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to give it to Mitch Keller. So I did change it. And I gave it to someone who I think needs a little pep talk. That's why I did it.
Wow.
Okay, we talked about Milwaukee and the freshmen.
Yep.
And how they were sustaining Milwaukee in that division. Now, one of the freshmen is hurt. The others have not really been performing the way they did to start the year. But we got my guy here, Joey Wiemer. Went 2 for 3 with a double, a homer. He had 4 ribbies. That was on Monday. And if we talked about the Brewers kind of like, on that little decline there, they're in a really bad division. We need guys like this to step up. So, Joey, not to put pressure on you, buddy, but you're a good player. Fast twitch muscles, big, strong dude. Just be yourself. A couple more days like this, we'll start talking about the freshmen again. And, bro, you can be class president of that freshman class. Think about that. So hopefully he takes this, runs with it. I want to see the Brewers be good this year. I do. I want to see them add at the deadline. I don't want to see them trading people away like they did last year. Just watched a special on that. Devin Williams talking about how it impacted the clubhouse. We don't want that this year. So, Joey, do your thing, man. Monday, you had a good game. Let's keep it up.
Central, sometimes we're tough on you. Sometimes Trev is the only wall between me, Jimmy, BBD, and the good people of the Central. The Pirates still in first place. They are 1-9 in their last 10. It took a Mitch Keller shutout that was going to be your standout performance. That's their only win. The Brewers are 2-8 in their last 10 in that second spot. So, yeah, man, the Central. Let's figure it out. And maybe it's the kids from Milwaukee that can spark them. I'm going to go with a kid too, Trev, that we forget he's a kid. He's 24. Juan Soto for the Padres, Trevor.
He's 24?
He's 24 years old. That's nuts.
Remember we were talking about he's going to get $500 million? You think that's still an option?
If he keeps doing what he's doing, Trev, because I'll tell you this much. Our guy Juan Soto got off to a slow start. About 11 games ago, he was hitting 183 with a 689 OPS, and we were talking about how, like, for me, it officially started hitting like a weird meter. Like, why has this guy, since he's been in San Diego, just not been about it? And, like, they're doing the whole Sunday Night Baseball thing about him and the pitch clock and how much that's changed his routine. And, Trev, in the last 11, including his 4-hit performance that helped lead them to a victory over the Twins, 425, a 566 on base, a 1.341 OPS, 2 homers, 13 walks to 8 strikeouts, along with 8 doubles. On the season, Trevor, and again, it's just that reminder that it feels like we're in it. He's now 256 batting average, a 414 on base, and an 888 OPS. He's leading the National League in walks, which he's done twice previously in his career. And if the bad man is back, which his OPS plus on the season is now a 151, which is a career 157, although his career high is a 217, San Diego will go. Because all the talk we get into about managers and players and blah, 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 if Juan Soto starts playing like Juan Soto again, the Padres wins will start to come because they also have Machado and Bogarts and Tatis. And I don't know, if I'm a San Diego fan, I think I just let out like a big exhale because I kind of needed these 2 weeks, man.
When you watch this Padres team, all you think is it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. And I think that's kind of, it's going to happen. It's the right take to have. Like, this team is going to go. Juan Soto will pick it up. I don't know if the contract thing I don't really even care about. But he's getting that Juan Soto confidence back. And I'm not going to say he ever lost confidence fully, but it wasn't the same type when you watch Juan Soto hit. I think he's getting that back. Like, the way he looks in the box is a little bit more confident. The shuffle is getting more and more intense, all that good stuff. I was impressed with the way they played, even though that they took the L against my Twins. Twins are one of the best teams in baseball. Don't worry about it, Padres fans. No big deal. I fully expect them to be there. This is a 95-win team.
I hope he runs. I hope he goes nuts, and we're talking about him MVP style and what that lineup can truly be. It's what we dreamed of, right? It's, the Tatis suspension and why hasn't Soto clicked in his 81 games with San Diego. I'm in on the Padres because I mentioned some luck before. I think they're 0-4 in extra innings this year. Which again, that's, is what it is. But I think it's enough of note in this small sample that 10% of their games have been extra inning losses. Did I do the math right there? Yeah. Hell yeah, Jake. Nice. So yeah, sorry to the guys who missed it. You're George Kirby, Framber, Jordan Diaz, 3 ding-dong day for those A's.
Mm-hmm.
But, Trev, you'll get to hear about some other guys who have been going off in
Dirt Nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Well, you just talked about this guy. Juan Soto, 7 for 10. This is for the series, people, against my Twins. 3 games, 7 for 10, 4 doubles, a homer, 2 RBI, 2 runs, 4 walks. That's a 2.1er. Gleyber Torres against the A's, 5 for 12 with 2 doubles and 2 homers for a 1.5. Dansby Swanson. Talk about a pickup, man. 6 for 13 against those Cardinals, 5 doubles and a homer. So all 6 hits went for extra bases. That's amazing for a 1.5. For the week of May 5th through May 11th, Dane Dunning. What hand does he throw with? Quick.
It's righty.
Yes, he is. We know that. 11 innings pitched, only 8 hits, only 2 earned runs, 8 Ks. He was used as a relief pitcher early on in the season, but since DeGrom's gone down, he's got those starts. Love that. Jonathan India for this week. Love him. He's got it going on, man.
You like him.
He does.
He makes you a little jealous.
No,
you get a little jealous of the flow guys. You can be honest. Yeah.
No, I don't get jealous. I get happy.
But can he bunt?
I'm happy for that. I know he can bunt. I know he's a dog, baby. 10 for 21 in this week. 4 doubles, 2 homers, 5 ribbies for a 1.4. He also stole 2 bases. Will Smith can be on this every single week. Talk about underrated players.
Yeah.
He might be the best catcher in baseball. Sorry, Adley.
Ooh.
Sorry. People are going to be mad at that one. Sorry, JT. Who am I missing? Sorry, Sean Murphy. I'm not sorry. You guys
don't
are all
sound
really good.
sorry.
All of you are the best catcher in baseball.
There
7
you
for
go.
16, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 4 ribbies,
Soft.
6 walks for a 1.5. For 2 weeks. It just keeps going, people. Is there any more than okay? For 2 weeks. April 28th through May 11th. Nick Prado?
Yeah. Royals
For the
up.
Kansas City Royals? Let's freaking go. 16 for 40. That's a 400 average. 3 doubles, 2 homers, 12 ribbies for a 1.1 over 2 weeks. Love that. How about Bryce Miller? Seattle. Starting pitching like you read about. 2 games started. By the way, they're the first 2 starts of his career. He has 12 innings pitched with only 4 hits and 1 earned run, 15 Ks. George Kirby, who? Yeah, I said it. How about a reliever on this? Jason Adams.
Yeah.
Jason Adam. There's no S there. A relief pitcher for Tampa. 4 saves. 7 innings pitched. 7 hits. No earned runs. He did give up 3 runs. Let's go defense. 13 Ks in that. And that, my friends, is who's in Fuego.
Yeah, Trev, you can do it another time. Pasquantino's been going nuts. Witt's having a solid year. Salvi is Salvi. Prado giving them that effort. 24 years old. Okay, first round pick.
Okay.
Are we going talking Royals real quick?
They're 5-5 in their last 10. Let's go. Trevor, when you get a chance and you watch a comparison of the Royals to the A's this year, because I think for the first month of the season, they were kind of in the same bucket, like the 2 teams bringing up the rear. I don't think they are. I think the Royals are going to start playing a little bit of a better brand of baseball. And yeah, it's just the efforts they can get from a Greinke or a Keller. Like, they have 4 MLB starting pitching right now, and the Oakland guys, I hope a couple of the young guys turn out to be. But yeah, it's different. And I'm glad the good people of Kansas City are getting to see some winning baseball recently.
MJ Melendez is one of the guys that hits the ball the hardest in all the big leagues. Go check out the stats. Percentage and max velo.
Also 24 years old. Trevor,
worth watching there.
great stuff. Our little IL update. Who's on the IL? Clevenger, Ray's pen. That was a funky play. He goes on the IL. Max Fried. Is Max okay? Have you talked to Maximus?
No structural damage. He has already had Tommy John years ago. No structural damage, but they are shutting him down for 2 to 4 weeks, I believe, just to rest it. So
Okay.
tough for the Braves right there, and tough for Max.
Jose Alvarado, Austin Slater from your Giants. Yarby, that was a scary one. Urias for Baltimore. He's a guy for them, but they've also got other guys. So a couple guys we're waiting to hear on. Laureano had a weird play into the wall. Nico Horner, man, he has been so good for those Cubbies. Their last 20 hasn't been too pretty. They kind of need him. Syndergaard, Dubon, who is good for Houston. Senzatella for Colorado. Hate that. Go Rocks. Kepler, leg cramp. You got the update, sideline boy?
I thought they just pinch ran for him. They brought in Michael A. Taylor, but they're calling it a cramp. But knowing what that feels like, I don't know, man. It could just be like a really small strain. Sometimes you just feel it just go like this, just pinch a little bit. But no updates that I know of yet. They're calling it a cramp. But he's been doing it.
Big Aaron Judge came back for the Yankees. Okay. Travis d'Arnaud, Yan Gomes back for the Cubs. So that's the IL segment. That brings us to
awards.
Just makes everything right in the world, doesn't it?
Remember how I was stressed, and now I'm not stressed anymore.
Trev, BBD, send him the sound clip. I need Trev listening.
One day we're gonna have the video. We
Needs
filmed
untethered
Kelsey doing
access
this
to that.
in the warehouse, and we're like, "Hey, we're gonna use this instead."
It was unreal.
Because it was like spot on too. She like that would take that we always play. That's not just like a one hit wonder. Like Kels can do that on demand.
Hell, if you see her at a game, scream at her to say it. And
Love you, Kels.
scream for some greens, some athletic greens. AG1. All great athletes like Trevor and myself have one thing in common: take care of our bodies. Trev treats his like a temple. No sugar. Get that out of here. It's not happening. AG1, great for recovery before a workout or after to give you that little boost. 75 high-quality ingredients that give you key daily nutrients and long-term gut health support. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/baseball. That's athleticgreens.com/baseball. You know there's a link in the description. Trev, you said you wanted me to go first in awards. You still want me to?
I think I might have to go first.
Okay.
And I might have to dip. See, Rosie's always waiting for me.
Yeah.
But let's try to finish the show. I don't want to go quick, though, because I have an award now that I'm pretty proud of. So I'll go. This is going to be not a Talkin baseball. This is going to be a Martin baseball. We're talking Game of Thrones, people.
Whoa.
Okay. Jaime Lannister,
Yes.
widely known as one of, if not the greatest warriors,
Yes.
fighters in any part of the world. Okay? That's when he had two hands.
Did he kill the Mad King, or am I confusing that?
Yeah, the Kingslayer.
He
Kingslayer.
did. He is the Kingslayer.
Jaime
yes.
Lannister.
Famously, he had two hands and was unstoppable. No one wanted to go up against Jaime Lannister. And boy, isn't he like one of the best characters in that show?
Some of the best
Anyways.
character development you'll see in a TV show.
Yes, you hate him, then you love him. Well, he's captured by the Starks, I believe, and they end up chopping off one of his hands. Now, that's tough to wield a sword and be, the best fighter with one hand. Just doesn't really happen. But Jamie's like, bro, people are coming for my neck all the time. I got to figure some things out. So he teams up with Sir Bronn, who also one of the greatest characters.
My guy.
And they get to work. And they don't do it in front of everybody. They go down by the ocean where nobody can hear the swords clanging and banging around. And Jamie says, teach me how to fight with one hand. And boom, 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 boom. They end up going at it. And all of a sudden, Jamie's like, I'm back. Like, I don't know if I'm like back when I had two hands, but I'm back. And I guess the point of all this is sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, I got to make an adjustment. I got to go to work. Now, our guy, Mitch Keller, who famously friends with Coach Tuck, who we're famously friends with. So that means that Mitch, bro, you got me. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. I enjoy watching him pitch. We talked about the Pirates' struggles a little bit. We just talked about how he was going to be on my standout performance for what he did. And what he did was amazing. He went 9 innings pitched, a complete game, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks on Monday. And I'm not talking about that start in particularly. I'm talking about Mitch Keller and the work that he's put in. There was a graphic put up, I believe it was May 18th, 2022. Mitch has seen in 2019, tough year. 2020 in those 5 starts, pretty good year. 2021, really, really bad. They put him in the bullpen, and his family was watching the game. He comes out of the bullpen for the first time, and there was a graphic put on the television, and I'm getting to it right now. Sorry, guys. Winning percentage, 241, worst. ERA, 6.12, worst. Opponent's average, 306, worst. WHIP, 1.7, worst. ERA plus, 70, worst. Now, I'm taking all of this, I have to mention, from a Stephen Nesbitt article. So go check it out. I don't want to steal everything from it. But Mitch decided to make some changes after seeing that. Okay. He said, I need to start throwing hard again. And he goes and starts working with somebody, and they develop this this mantra. And again, I have to find it because it's so good. Dang it. It's like tilt something drive. Hold on. I'm messing this up. I'm so sorry. People, there's so much to read here.
God, you were running so beautifully.
I'm messing it up right now. Now I'm freaking stressed again.
Hit the awards button, Beebs. Hit the awards button, Beebs. Tranquil.
I like reading Trevor Plouffe's stuff. He's got a lot of good takes.
Keep doing it.
Keep tasting them.
I can't find it.
Awesome.
It's me. Anyway, just go read the freaking article. He goes and makes adjustments, starts throwing hard again. Then he decides, you know what? Throwing hard's not good enough. So he starts throwing a sinker. And then he's like, you know what? I'm not getting lefties out at the clip that I want to get him out. So he starts throwing a cutter. And then he's like, you know what? I need another pitch. So he starts throwing a sweeper. All of a sudden, this dude in the last, 18 months has developed all of these pitches. He throws 6 pitches now. His sweeper is one of the best in the big leagues, but he only throws it like 15% of the time because he's doing other things well. He changed his pitch arsenal around, and he's changed his career around. This dude's about to get paid. He went and put the work in, made the adjustments. He had a graphic put out that was similar to getting your hand chopped up. He was the worst starting pitcher in baseball, according to a ton of different stats. But he decided to work at it, got better, made changes, and all of a sudden we're getting shutout performances like this, a payday on the horizon. They're talking about a contract extension in Pittsburgh. This is the stuff that gets me fired up. So, Mitch Keller, you are Jamie Lannister. You did have your hand cut off, but you did elicit some help like Sir Braun helped Jamie, and now you're reaping the benefits. Congrats to you, my friend. I don't have an award name for you, but you get my award. Congratulations. And now
I'll taste other dudes.
I mean,
Jamie Lannister.
I'm exhausted.
Powerful stuff, Trev. That was so beautiful. I'll keep mine high and tight. I'm going to go with the No Buyer's Remorse Award. It's a guy we mentioned in passing that deserved a little more. It's Nathan Eovaldi for your Texas Rangers. He was one of the free agent contracts this year that we did let's see. And I think I like it. He's going from Fenway and, he's 2 years removed.
We like him, but will it for sure work?
Who
I don't
knows?
know.
He's 33 right now. It's baseball, right? Trev, in 2021, he led baseball in FIP. We are FIP guys. We love FIP to a degree. He is now leading Major League Baseball in FIP again. And just a reminder, people, why ERA is sexy and not sexy sometimes, and it's probably why we deserve to give those Philly pitchers a little bit more love. Where you pitch matters. Fenway runs score. It's just how it works. The Vegas over-under, check Fenway games, it's higher than your average game because runs get scored there because they put a giant wall in left field. 53.1 innings pitched. He's leading the AL. The ERA is down to 2.7. He's leading the American League in FIP. And Trev, guess what? Fastball still sitting 96, faster than your Major League fastball. He's 33. He got called up when he was 21. He was kind of enigmatic up until kind of age 27, 28. Then sometimes the light bulb goes off for pitchers, and it starts to click. Trev, he might have a few more years in the tank. Remember when he was going to be done after Boston ran him out there for 7 extra innings in a World Series game, and we're like, yeah, arm's going to fall off. Guess what? It still works. And he's part of the problem in Texas. He's probably been a top 3 pitcher. Fangraphs has him as the number 3 best pitcher in baseball this year. So, again, a little more Rangers love and a little more Nate Dogg love because he's when he's locked in, it's awesome to watch.
Yes, when he is locked in, I put him in like the same category as like a David Robertson. Like this guy has just been a good pitcher for a long time. Now, has he had some spurts where things have gotten away from him? Sure,
Yeah.
But like when he's on, he can be that dominant, and he's shown it. I mean, 28 and whatever innings pitched, scoreless. Not a fun at bat. Faced him many times. Power arm, but can finesse you if he needs to. And the Rangers, man, they continue to impress. Look at us talking about the Rangers so much.
They're
2 years
3
ago
games are
or last year, this never would have happened.
28 scoreless.
Yeah, 9 innings, 8 innings, 8.2 innings, no runs in any of them.
That's
his
nuts.
last 3 starts.
That's big boy stuff. And he's kind of, Nate
And
Eovaldi.
yeah, one of them's Oakland.
He is
okay,
Texas.
but-
He's from Texas. He's kind of like a throwback power pitcher a little bit. Nolan Ryan. Trev, baseball today. I have to pee. I almost stopped mid-episode. And I don't like to do that. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your weekend of baseball. We're excited to see you Monday and whatever the baseball gods give to us this weekend.
Chick sucks.
Really good play by Darren Baker making the rounds on the
that was
internet this
cool.
morning. I was skeptical. It was really nice. Go watch that.
Just haven't really seen
Dusty's boy.
That was straight up athleticism, reaction.
that. It's back in the game.
Jose Siri.
Oh, the
I could lay
Pops.
Taylor, Nick Gordon in center field laying out for one.
Ah.
Bailey Ober.